Today, I want to go over on how to get your clients to do their homework. Now, I'm going to take a bit of a different stance than what you might think. Well, first of all, I'm going to say stop blaming your clients for not doing their homework. You need to take it on yourself on why they're not doing their homework. Yeah, I hear all the time, my clients don't do their work. My clients don't do this. I tell them and I tell them and I tell them and I tell them. Well, maybe you suck at teaching people. You need, as a dog trainer, to be as good at teaching people as you are at training dogs. And if you're not, then just go do competition. If you're in this to help dogs and help people with their dogs, you need to learn how to teach people and stop blaming your clients for not doing the homework that you're not clear on. Yeah. So, first, you need to learn how to teach. There's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of different books out there. And when it comes down to it, you need to learn how to read your client when they're getting overwhelmed with too much stuff that you're telling them. You need to be able to break it down in 5, 6, 7 different ways of how to teach the same concept to different people. And one of the big things that I have ended up doing is trying to figure out how each client learns. Can some clients, they just get it. Very, very, very few, but those are the dream clients that you don't really have to do much. It's like just a snap. But you have some people who are auditory, some people who are visual, some people who have to actually do it with their hands. I'm one that I have to do all three. And I have to have someone, the best thing is for have someone right over my shoulder telling me exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, or if I'm even doing it right. I get overwhelmed and I'll shut down, right? So you need to make sure that each one of your clients gets it by learning how they learn. You can also ask them, "Hey, do you know how you learn? How do you learn best? Are you more of a hands-on? Are you more of an auditory? Are you more of a visual? What is it for you that makes it to where you learn the best?" So, the other thing you need to take into account is your client has a full-time job. Not only 8 hours a day, right? So, at work, at least 8.5, 9 hours a day, including lunch. Then they have anywhere between probably a 15, more like a 30 to an hour drive to and from. So automatically, your client has already been working 11 hours a day. And now you expect them to come home and without someone watching over their shoulder, figuring out how they're supposed to do the thing that you told them to do at your facility, at a park. If you're one of these, like myself, where we go to their house, so it takes a bunch of steps out of that for the client. And but now you expect them to do 20, 30 minutes, an hour every single day, and you're wondering why your client isn't successful, why they're not doing their homework, because they're tired. They work as hard as you do at their job, and they don't want to train dogs. They just want to have a trained dog, right? So you create all these games and all these things, and I'm talking about the regular dog owner. I'm not talking about the people who want to do competition or anything like that, right? Anybody who enjoys doing the dog training and teaching their dog. Most people just want the dog not to jump on them, not to run out the front door, don't pull them down the street, don't jump, come to me when called. That's what most people need and want. So why are you creating these long games and these things that people have to do when they get home? Then they have to help their kids with homework, right? They have to get food and dinner on the table. They have to make stuff. They have to do laundry. They have to clean up whatever it was that day that happened before, after breakfast, whatever. And you're creating these long, where they sit and they train the dog for 20, 30, 40 minutes a day. It's not feasible. Work on how to actually get the client to just spend a little extra time when they first get home and that dog's jumping on them on what to do. and set them up for success. Instead of going, well, the dog jumps on me right away. Okay, well, is the leash there? If you use a remote collar, is the remote collar already on them with the remote next to you, or did you take it to work with you? Set them up for success. So in that moment, that dog can learn. And in that moment, that person can take just a couple extra seconds and go over that with them. Set that expectation. I know you're going to be super tired. If you do this for the next 3 days, every single time, I promise you, you are going to see such a different dog. But instead of just saying, well, why aren't you doing it? Instead of saying, well, you need to. And they go, yeah, I know. That's why I hired you. You're not making it easy enough for them to do what you want them to do. Work the training into their day to day when you're talking about just a pet. If you're not doing that, the people get exhausted, and that is why they don't do it. Another thing you could be doing is just say, "Oh, you need to do this." And instead, when you come home, you just need to make sure that they don't jump. How about you paint a picture for them? You paint a picture of how tired they are and how much they don't want to do it. And then what they need to do. Show them. Come, knock on the door, come in, get the dog excited. This is what you need to do. This is literally how long it'll take. You just take a couple extra seconds now, and we don't need to do 20 minutes of this over and over and over again. You don't need to go back outside and knock on the door, right? Make it easier for your client in small little things. Make everyday living the training. And you're going to see a big difference in your clients following through. Now, another one is, like I said, they're not dog trainers. They don't want to be dog trainers. They just want a well-trained dog and a well-behaved dog. They don't want to sit there for hours playing games, right? They want the dog to be done, and so they can enjoy their dog and do fun things. Don't expect them to be dog trainers. Don't expect them to do all the things that you would do and that you love doing. You could sit there for 30 minutes teaching your dog place and having fun games with treats and this, that, the other. They don't want that. If they wanted that, they'd be a dog trainer. They're not a dog trainer. They just want the dog to stay on the damn bed when they tell them to, right? So create things like, hey, while you watch TV, you put the bed right in front of the TV and you tell them to go to their bed. Make sure the TV, the movie you're watching, make sure that the show you're watching is something you know. So you're not upset that you have to pause it. You're not upset that you have to interrupt it. Make sure that everyone else in the house understands what's going on and they're fine with pausing or interrupting. So watch a show, watch a movie that you know every punchline. Make it easy. Make it easy. And now the dog just needs to stay on there while they watch TV. Right? And the goal is, let's say, an hour and a half, a whole movie. That dog stays on place. Once that dog stays on place for that whole time, now you can put the bed somewhere else. But right now for training, and because you're tired, and you probably are sitting down to eat too, that the dog goes and stays on its place for that time. And then after, because if you have it to the side, the dog will get up and wander off and you don't even notice, right? We're going to move that over there once that dog can actually do an hour and a half right in front of you. Think about how to incorporate the training to everyday life. And the clients are going to do far, 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 far better. The other part, just like I showed you here, and I would actually, or what I talked about here, I would break it down. Just like I said, I don't just say put it in front of the TV and watch. If they start watching a show that they haven't seen before and they get completely engrossed in it, or their partner or whatever is into that show and now they're pausing it every damn time and they weren't even big on having a dog, well then you're creating conflict. You're creating animosity in that whole environment and frustration. You did that, not the client. So work them through stuff. Think about all the weird, dumb stuff. And if it never happens, it never happens. But making sure that you paint that picture where you're gonna get up time and time and time again, and you're gonna finally get the dog to stay in place, and you're gonna get all the way back to the couch, and you're gonna be so happy, and then you sit down and that dog gets up. And go over the big humps in that training of when the dog this is the first hurdle, this is the second hurdle, this is the third hurdle. Do not get frustrated. If you get frustrated, do this. This is exactly what we're going to do. This is what I want you to do. This is how you're going to do it. That way, like, walk them through like they are 3 years old. And if they roll their eyes because you're going over stuff, good. Then that means they finally get it. Do not don't just tell them and okay, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to teach come. So you tell the dog to come sometimes. You call the dog to you when you want him to call, and you tug on the leash or you press the button or you show him the treat. That doesn't show them jack. Walk them through it, hold their hand, go through their homework, exactly what you want them to do. Have them rolling their eyes because you went over it so much so they go, I get it. That way, you come back to a better dog and a happy client. They're like, I can't believe how fast this went, because you taught the person. You communicated clearly and drilled in exactly what they needed to do. If you're not doing that and you're just saying, yeah, walk around and do this, no wonder the client's frustrated. No wonder the client feels stupid. What big one that I've found is also looking for understanding in the client. Right? Do you understand? Uh-huh. Do you? Right? Don't make them, they say yes because they don't want to feel and seem stupid. Right? Make sure they feel comfortable asking questions. Whatever question they want, make sure that they completely understand that there's no stupid question. They can ask whatever. They can ask the same question 12 times. And you're going to rephrase it a different way each time to make sure that they understand. Learn how to teach. If they just nod their head and they have this blank face, yeah, they're not going to remember because they don't understand. The understanding is the part you need, that light bulb, that aha, like, oh, I get it. That makes sense. Okay. Not, uh-huh. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you get it? Uh-huh. You need that. Oh, okay. That completely makes sense. I can't believe I didn't think of that. But it totally makes sense. Yeah, but that's why I'm the dog trainer. Why would you know this? Because you don't train dogs and you're not into the dog psychology and you're not into Oh, yeah. Don't make them feel stupid for not knowing something that's obvious to a dog trainer. Reassure them it's fine that they don't know this stuff, that they need to ask questions, encourage questions. Right? Make sure that they understand. That understanding is going to go a long way with you and your clients.